Hey YouTubers, thanks for joining in. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. But before we dive into this week's episode, Justin, a lot of great stuff to talk about. First thing, ATA show, we're coming off just a great show. We've uploaded hundreds of videos. We apologize if you guys are getting too many alerts, but it's all new bowhunting gear.
Yeah.
You can't complain about that.
A lot of new products to cover from the ATA show. So for those of you that watched through the videos and watched all of our coverage, make sure you leave your comments below. Let us know what you thought the coolest products from 2018 ATA show were. Guys, as always, we appreciate you watching. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, and leave your comments below.
One more thing before we tune out. Go to our website, bowhunting.com. Go all the way to the bottom if you're interested in having a career right here with bowhunting.com. We're specifically looking for somebody to help us with media, photography, video editing, everything that we do right here at Bowhunt or Die. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Bowhunt or Die. Justin, we got all kinds of things to start off before we dive into this particular episode. We got Lancaster coming up next week. We've got hiring for the new position to work, of course, with us right here in our office. And we're coming off ATA show. There's a lot going on right now.
We are coming off ATA show, and Todd's sick now.
I
want to like sit way over on the other side of the table here. Got the trade show crud.
Yes, I somehow managed to, despite my germaphobe.
You didn't practice proper hand hygiene.
Oh my gosh, dude, I washed my hands so much. Dude, it was Mike Fitzgerald's fault, man. He stayed up too late with you that last night and brought it back to the room and I was sleeping.
Sorry, guys.
What happened?
Maybe I just have a better immune system.
But all right, let's stay focused here. ATA, what a great time. Lots of good buzz in the air this year. I mean, the enthusiasm on the floor this year was just really, I noticed, to be significantly different. It seems like the companies are more all in. There seems to be more new products coming to all of us bow hunters, which is cool, right? I mean, every time you have a good economy, things are happening out there, and these companies are more willing to take chances and bring out some new products.
Yeah, definitely a lot of great new stuff hitting the market for this year, guys. If you haven't already checked it out, you can visit bowhunting.com. You can visit the YouTube channel. We have somewhere around 180 or so product interviews that we filmed live on the ATA show floor. So lots of new gear to check out, whether it's trail cameras, sights, releases, you name it. We pretty much covered it all. So make sure you check that out. Do you want to hop into a hunt now?
I think the most important thing to know is that next week, Justin and I are going head to head in the Lancaster Classic. I mean, this is 8 a.m. on Friday morning. We are going head to head.
First thing on day one.
I know, dude. I have to admit, I'm a little worried. I'm a little concerned. My target last night looked really great with a lot of good groupings, but they're all missing the bullseye.
Yeah, good groupings outside of the yellow. Unfortunately.
It's not good. I still got 4 or 5 days, and Mr. Cheater here sends me a picture of his perfect bullseye at 6 yards. It doesn't count.
It's all psychological. The art of war graph.
Yeah, the art of war made me shoot more when you sent me that. So that was actually good. You keep sending that stuff to me. You'd be better off sending them outside the bullseyes. And I'd be like, okay, I got this guy. All right, yeah. With that being said, let's dive into a great Texas hunt with Tyler. Does a great job putting down a nice buck. Let's take a look.
Stand. It is November the 12th, exactly a year from the day I killed my buck last year, so I'm hoping maybe this day will bring me some good luck. I'm filming my interview a little bit early, as you can see behind me probably. It's pretty foggy, and there's been a light rain all morning, so this is the first time it's let up enough to where I felt comfortable getting the camera out from underneath the rain cover here to do a little bit of an interview, so I'm hoping it stays like this, just kind of barely misting and foggy versus rain, so that'll try and give me an opportunity. 2017. I just shot a doe, and she just sprinted. I mean, just full out. I saw a big splash of blood, got a full pass through. My arrow's right there. She circled around probably, I don't know, maybe 80 yards, and I heard her crash right behind me. So I know she's down. Awesome morning. I had so many deer on me all day long. I thought I was never going to get a chance to actually move around and get a draw cycle completed, but all these deer kind of cleared out, and it was just her and a button buck that she was with. And I'm pretty sure I just smoked her. She is down right over there. So venison is in the freezer. I'm a happy hunter. Yes, bow hunter die.
Well, hey guys, I just got down out of my tree a little bit ago. Met up with my dad. He's running the camera for me, and this is my arrow stabbed in the ground, so I got a complete pass through on this, and it's covered just from all the way from the tip all the way into the fletchings with a bunch of blood and hair, so it looks really good. In this one I was using the Spitfire double cross, and anytime you get that much broadhead going through a deer all the way through both sides, should be pretty good. Well, hey guys, as you can see, I recovered my doe here, a nice young Texas doe that came out just perfectly at about 20 yards, and she probably made it maybe another 80 yards or so after the shot. Got a complete pass through with the Spitfire double cross and my Black Eagle arrow, and I couldn't be more happy right now to put this doe in the freezer. Had a great morning hunt, just saw a ton of deer. No real good bucks, only had one probably 2.5-year-old 8-pointer that was in, and he looks really good, and he'll probably be an awesome deer in about 2 years. But when everything kind of cleared out and this doe was left alone with a little button buck, I decided that it was time to put some meat in the freezer, and thankfully I was able to get it done, and yeah, couldn't be more pleased at this point in time. So I'm gonna keep on hunting the rest of this year. It's only November the 19th. I've got a lot of time left. Hopefully I'll be tagging a buck before too long. And in the meantime, bow hunt or die.
Hey guys, this is gonna be a super short interview. I just got set up in the stand. It's probably almost 4 o'clock, so I'm getting definitely a later start than I wanted to. I just got everything in the tree kind of situated, and I looked up and there's a deer about 100 yards that way. So if it's a big doe, I might take it. Obviously a big buck is definitely still on the menu. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll come in here in just a few minutes. That would be super fast, so should be good. I'm excited. drilled that 10-pointer. Oh my goodness. That was exciting. Guys, I haven't been in the stand more than half an hour. That 10-pointer came in. Actually had him in a 9-pointer that I've been chasing for a little while. They both came in. Neither one of them gave me a shot at first. And he finally came in, turned broadside. And goodness, I saw so much blood pumping out of him. I might have hard shot him. He looked really, really good. I'll have to look at the footage, but oh my God. Yes, yes, yes. All right, guys. Well, I'm down out of the tree right now, and I'm actually down where I got my arrow stabbed into the ground. And I'm not kidding you. I shot a doe here last Sunday in this exact same stand, and this arrow is probably within 3 feet of where the arrow was when I shot that doe and got a pass through, and arrow was sitting right behind her too. So the arrow looks awesome. I mean, those look like pink fletchings, and they're supposed to be white, so it's just covered in blood. Broadhead obviously did its job. It went just tearing right through there, so there's a lot of blood here already. So I'm gonna go ahead and just follow it and see what I see here pretty quick. I don't think there's any chance that the deer's still alive, so I'm not in any kind of doubt, so I'm not gonna back out. I'm going to see if I can find him. Well, guys, as you can see, there is a dead deer behind me, which means I have followed my blood trail to its end. It was an incredible blood trail. I mean, just like you dipped a paintbrush in red paint and drug it along behind you. I mean, it was just all the way from start to finish had great blood. There was one spot I actually got turned around a little bit because where I'd actually seen him in the camera, and where I saw what I thought was him going down in the very, very kind of edge of the frame, was actually a spot where I think he did fall down, because he did a big donut right there, and there was just a ton of blood. And I was wondering, I was like, okay, there's got to be a deer here. And I just looked over to my left, and here he was sitting about, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 yards away from that spot. So altogether, he probably ran about maybe 80 yards. He's probably only about 60 yards as a crow flies from my stand, and just piled up right underneath the cedar tree. So I'm an excited guy right now.
Well, here he is, my 2017 Hill Country Texas buck, and got a nice 10 here. Couldn't be more pleased with the way it all worked out. Had a bunch of does come in. He was following them. Came right in exactly where I wanted him to at about 20 yards, and just gave me a perfect broadside shot. And I was able to put the double cross here, just right behind the shoulder, right where the heart is. So I mean, that deer jumped up, donkey kicked, and then just took off running. Maybe made it about 80 yards altogether. He's only about 60 yards away from my stand as the crow flies, so not a long track. Nice easy recovery, and I'm not chasing him with a flashlight, which is always good. So really pleased with everything about this hunt so far. And it's the day after Thanksgiving, so I'm extremely thankful just to be out here in the woods, and even more so now that I got a nice buck on the ground. So thanks for watching. Appreciate everybody's time. Bow hunt or die.
We pledge allegiance to the hunt, to the passion that can only be fed by the endless thrill of the chase. For we are mud-covered souls, bound by no boundaries, and united by the ground upon which we tread. So with rubber on foot, we stalk, we seek, we hunt, rightfully claiming this land in the name of the hunt. Lacrosse boots, done right since 1897.
You know, Justin, when I watch Tyler's hunt, it's funny, because I mean, it's been a long time since I actually hunted Texas. I mean, it was many years ago, but I do remember the deer down there. They're smaller, and they're twitchier. They really are. I mean, I personally noticed that when I was down there. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, for those of you that are watching the show, but those deer are twitchy down there.
Yeah, I had really enjoyed both of those hunts, to be honest with you. I mean, the first segment.
Have you been lying to us all this time? I mean,
yeah, I mean, some of these hunts aren't so good, but no, I really did. I just enjoyed the footage of the deer. It seems like Tyler sees a ton of deer when he's out hunting down there, which is just kind of refreshing from hunting up here sometimes where we don't see very many deer. both those animals he put a perfect shot on, perfect pass through, awesome blood trails for both of them. So I mean, when you look at just kind of a textbook hunt, both of those really, fit the bill, which is what I enjoyed.
Yeah, and I think the thing to keep in mind too is, I mean, that just wasn't one hunt. Again, I mean, we're showing you, kind of his whole season condensed down into 3 or 4 hunts. The one thing we were going to call Tyler out on is that one hunt. He's like, I'm going to shoot a doe today. Dude, there was like 5 of them there, and he decides not to shoot one. I want to know what happened.
Oh, that
there.
first hunt?
Yeah, something.
He's like, I'm going to shoot a doe, and then I'm waiting, like, when's he going to shoot the doe? But he waited a couple more days. Who knows? He may have seen a buck lurking around somewhere, didn't want to spoil the hunt. I think we've all gone out with those intentions, and then when it comes time to actually do it, you're like, for one reason or another, you don't. But, congrats again to Tyler, 2 successful hunts. Todd, next up in the intro, you mentioned hiring somebody.
Yes, we are 100%. Listen, if you go to bowhunting.com, go all the way to the bottom of the page. I'm going to say it twice because sometimes people end up emailing us directly and forgetting to do this. Go to the website, bowhunting.com, go all the way to the bottom. There's a little contact us spot there where you can email us directly if you're interested in this position, and we'll give you more details. The position specifically is for the help with everything that we do around here for the most part. Primarily, though, helping us with social media, our forum, our website, putting content up, helping Brando, editing, small different video clips. What else do we need to add to that?
Well, that's a pretty good starter point. Somebody to just help out around the office with all the tasks that we do here at bowhunting.com. It's a growing organization. We have a lot of content that we need to get out to our followers, those of you watching the show. So if anybody's interested, the position is here at our office in Huntley, Illinois, which is about an hour outside of Chicago. So anybody that's interested in coming to work for us, make sure you go to bowhunting.com, scroll to the bottom of the page, look for the link, send us an email. We'll go from there. So guys, next up we're going to actually jump into a fall turkey hunt, which I think this is our first official fall turkey hunt. Sometimes we're turkey opportunists, right? Like, well, for deer hunting and a turkey walks by, we shoot it. But in this case, Dan Richardson and his son set out with one goal, and that's to get a fall turkey in Indiana. So let's take a look at that.
Okay, last day of 2017, New Year's Eve. Me and my oldest son Dalton here, we're going to try to give it a go on the fall turkeys. We just come down the road, and the field that I wanted to set up in, there was 2 toms standing beside the road, there was 2 toms way back in the corner, and a whole slew of hens up by the road, so there is no way we can get in there. So what we're going to do, there's a wood line on the other side of here, and we're pretty sure they're crossing the road and going way back up in there to roost. So we're going to go up in there where we think they're roosting at. We're going to enter the woods, go in about 100 yards, and sneak all the way down there where I think they're going to cross and eventually get to the roost. So we're going to grab our gear, get rolling. Finally got settled in. We can see the field. It's about probably 200 yards through the woods. I just barely see it through the wood line. Loud walking through that woods, wasn't it? Man, everything is frozen and crunchy and icy. Everything you touch just pops and cracks. But we made it back here. We don't even know if this is the right spot or not. There's so many places they could come in to go to roost, but we got water over here pretty close to us. Birds a lot of times like to roost by the water, so that's kind of why we chose this spot. Just see 'em back there. See 'em back there. Man, so close, so close, so close. We seen them coming. I guarantee you there was 30 or 35 birds. I'm pretty sure they was all hens, but that's all right. It's either sex in the fall, so I would have took either Tom, Jake, hen, I don't care. Okay, here's what we're doing. We just drove by the field again. First day of the new year, so happy new year. The birds are out in the field again. They came through yesterday at 5:30. It's about 3:30 right now. Hoping they do the exact same thing. I've got Dalton back here. I gave him my wicked saw. He's back here trimming limbs. We're gonna move the blind over probably 25, 30 yards. We figured out where the birds are crossing the road. They're coming in here, and I'll show you in a minute. They're going between two spoil banks and around a log. We're gonna set the blind up right there where they're coming dead at us. So if they do it again, and I can make my shot happen, we're gonna be going. Okay, just missed them again. They came in even farther the other way, but they're still going in this little opening behind me. I'm gonna have to set up right in the opening next time, which unfortunately is not until next weekend. So, and that's the last weekend I can hunt. Then the season's out. So it's Monday now. Happy New Year. Okay, here we go again. This is the third set. We finally made it to the weekend. After a long week of waiting. This time we moved the blind. There's a gap where two hills kind of come down. That's flatwoods out in front of us where they come from. Cornfield across the road. And this is all strip mine ground where it's hilly. And in this gap, there's a pond over here. This is where they overflow, where the water bleeds out of it. So what they've been doing, they're coming in this gap and just walking across the frozen pond to go to the roost. So with any luck, they're going to come through again. I had a game camera on that gap all week, and I never did get time to check it just to see that they're still using it. So it's kind of a gamble tonight. So here we go. I think we made a good shot. I'm not 100% sure. But I'm almost positive we're going to find her. I can't see her, so she ran off. She went behind a hill. It was cool. Them other birds came down here, and I got real good footage of one of them drinking water. I've never seen that before, so give it a couple minutes here, and I think we're going to get out, see if she's over there. Bowhunt or die. I don't know if you guys can see that on the zombie slayer. See them 3 tally marks? That was on this one arrow shaft. Spring gobbler, had a doe, had a buck, and now I've got this fall hen. I'm gonna have to take that home, put another tally mark in it, and have it ready to go for spring again. This is my lucky arrow right here. Alright, I put a second shot on her. You can see I hit her in the head. She was laying up in a brush pile, and she was almost done, but her head was sticking up, and I was 10 yards from her a while ago, so I went ahead and put another arrow in her, but took her right out. Nice plump hen. It's going to be some mighty fine eating. I don't have that last tag burning a hole in my pocket. Tomorrow's actually the last day, so we managed to put a plan together. That's strategic hunting right there. Ain't no calling in this kind of hunting. It's just kind of pattern them, and me and Dalton, we've done just that the last 3 hunts, and we finally zeroed them into a bottleneck over there just like we would deer, and we made it happen. So feels good to finally connect on it. I was beginning to wonder, but I don't know what to tell you. I think we're going to go home, have maybe turkey nuggets tomorrow, do a little ice fishing, and relax. So thanks for watching. Bowhunt or die.
You know, Justin, I don't think I've ever in my life actually set up for a fall turkey hunt. So it's actually kind
I
of cool.
certainly have not.
No, I never have either. I've always have plans of shooting turkeys, but it never fails. It's like you get out there, a turkey comes, and you're like, oh man, I don't want to scare away the deer. I always do that.
Well, Dan was tagged out, right? He shot his buck and his doe. Took advantage of a fall turkey season. And as we saw there, like turkey hunting during the fall is so much different than the spring in some regards, right? It's different in that you're not calling, but it's kind of the same in that you can pattern those birds. Like when it comes to turkeys, they are very patternable. Whether it's spring or fall, they tend to do the same things. And you know, Dan and his son were persistent. They kept moving that blind a little bit closer and a little bit closer, and finally those turkeys cooperated and he was able to get a nice hen, so congrats to him. Great way to end his year.
But what I do have to add to that is, I mean, if you have not had time to go back and watch Dan's buck hunt, that was a great hunt.
Yeah, definitely.
Not taking away from the little turkey setup here, but that buck hunt was a good hunt.
So go back and watch that episode if you guys haven't already seen it. Next up, guys, we're going to check in with PJ Riley over at Lancaster Archery. This week we're talking stabilizers, which is kind of an important thing for Todd and I as we head to do some target shooting next week. Let's take a look now.
So there's a lot of debate about bow hunting stabilizers, what you need, what you don't need, what lengths you should have. They come in all different shapes and sizes. So a lot of that has to do with personal preference, and it's something that you need to play around with different things to see what works for you. What we want to make sure is that you know what you're getting and what you're not getting to kind of guide what you end up choosing. I have my hunting setup right here, my Matthews Halon 32, and you can see I've got a 12-inch bar out the front, and I've got a 10-inch side rod. 6 ounces on the back, 2 ounces out front. What's key about this stabilizer setup that I have is that I've got weight all the way out at the very end, and it's 12 inches away from the riser. And on the back, 10 inches away from the riser. Getting the weight out in front and behind the bow is what's going to resist torque and is going to help you truly stabilize the bow. This right here is a popular stabilizer that a lot of bow hunters choose, and this is okay, this is perfectly fine, but understand this is made of Navcom rubber. What this is going to do for you is kill some vibration. This is not going to do anything to stabilize the bow. And a good rule of thumb to look at when picking a stabilizer, if you want it to truly stabilize the bow, is you have to get out past the limb pockets. You can see where this stabilizer sits. It's inside the limb pockets. Can't do any stabilization. You got to get beyond that. So this one is going to be fine for killing vibration. If you're 20-yard tree stand hunter, that's all farther you want to shoot. Out to 20 yards, this one's going to work fine for you. But if you want to extend your shooting distance out 30, 40, 50 yards, you're going to want to think about something that's going to provide a little more stabilization. So maybe a setup like this will work. Play with different things, try it out, see what works for you. Thanks, guys.
Hey, thanks, PJ. That's a great tip. Now, Todd, speaking of Lancaster Archery, we are headed out there next week, which first of all means no show next week because we won't be here in the studio, but we will be doing live coverage from the Lancaster Classic. What do you think, man?
Well, I don't know what to think. I mean, shooting last night, I feel like I'm patterning in a shotgun more than I'm actually shooting a bow and arrow. I definitely have some additional tuning to do. But I do feel pretty confident.
There's a big difference between target shooting and hunting. There is no doubt about it when it comes to trying to shoot it, a quarter-sized dot on a target. While there's hundreds of other people there around you, watching you, it's a lot of pressure. So it should be interesting to see. Shooting by yourself in your basement or in the garage is one thing. Getting on that competitive setting is a whole nother level.
Yes.
So we'll see how Todd and I and the rest of our crew fare next week at the Lancaster Classic.
You think you're going to advance? I think only
No,
14.
my gosh, are you kidding me?
I think only 14 people advance.
16 people from our group will advance to the next round. And
16? Okay.
There's about a 0.01% chance of me making that 16, but you never know. Stranger things have happened.
That's right. And the key is that hopefully I can just beat Justin in the shoot. But guys, listen, for those of you who definitely can shoot way better than Justin and I in the bow hunter division, don't forget, we're going to be there. We're going to be selling gear. We put up some good purse for people who get first, second, third for the contingency. So make sure you don't miss out on that.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing everybody that's going to be out at that shoot. If any of you guys that watch the show see us, feel free to stop in, say hello. We always love meeting the fans of the show. So guys, next up, we're going to take a couple seconds here to thank the people who sent in their trophy photos for this week's episode.
Bob McDaniel,
Tyler Cheek,
Brandon Porter,
Robert Lambert Jr.,
Trent Vespach,
and Mark Schimmel.
You know, Justin, I think we spend more time trying to figure out who's the winner of this than actually
It's
filming
hard
the whole
sometimes,
show.
man.
It is hard. Guys are finally taking our advice. They're taking the time. They're setting up the animals right. We're going to give this week's free package out to Tyler. I mean, Tyler here in Illinois did an awesome job. I think he's even wearing our hat, too.
Tyler Cheek did a great job. Phenomenal buck in the snow. Close runner-up was Trent. Nice photo. We just felt like Tyler just a little bit better. So congratulations to everybody that sent their photos in, but to Tyler specifically, make sure you send an email to info@bowhunting.com. We will get that free hat headed your way. And guys, this is probably one of your last chances to send photos in for this year. I think we've got one official episode left, and then we'll probably do a live stream wrap-up.
We will.
So make sure you get your emails with your trophy photos, info@bowhunting.com, or post them in the Bowhunter Die Facebook group. With that being said, Todd, I think that's about it for this episode, right? Season is officially over
It's
here
funny.
in Illinois.
I got up this morning, I called two people, and it just, I mean, this was by no coincidence, but I called two guys that both didn't fill their buck tags. You know, first I called Tommy, and then I called my buddy Jamie. I think we're all got a little bit of the bow hunter blues.
Yeah, but hey, the season is over and optimism is high for next year, right? So looking forward to 2018. Actually looking forward to turkey season here coming up in the next couple months. I am excited to go out and shoot a couple turkeys. So as always, guys, we appreciate you tuning in. Check back in 2 weeks right here on Bowhunter Die. We'll have more great bow hunting action for you.
For more exciting action, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and receive live updates from our team members, as well as the latest happenings in the bow hunting and archery world. Be sure to share your photos, stories, and experiences as well. And don't forget to pick up your official bowhunting.com and Bowhunter Die gear by visiting bowhunting.com/gear. We have a full selection of hats, shirts, decals, wristbands, and much more. Hey PJs, that's a PJs.
PJs. Hey, PJs.
Action.
Hey Pete.
Okay, ready? Let's do it.
We're gonna go try to give it a go. The camera's moving around because of the wind. Start over.
And